You don't need game to get a girlfriend, and I'm serious. You don't need to be the funniest guy in the room, you don't need perfect hair, insane confidence, or some magical ability to make every girl like you. Because if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance you're doing what most guys do. You see a girl you like, you think about talking to her, you imagine all the things you could say, and then you do absolutely nothing. And a week later, you're still single, wondering why nothing ever happens. And if you keep doing that, 6 months from now, you could be in the exact same position, watching other people get into relationships, while you're still wondering what you're doing wrong. So give me the next 6 minutes. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to do to go from I have no game to actually having a chance with someone you like. And here's the deal. You don't need game. You need to stop making dating harder than it actually is. There are 6 things you need to get right, and if you skip them, you're going to keep ending up in the exact same place. Single. Step 1. Take care of yourself. Before you even think about talking to someone, take care of yourself. Not because you need to become incredibly attractive. You don't. You just need to look like you respect yourself. Take care of basic hygiene, keep your hair maintained, wear clothes you feel comfortable in, and take care of your health. That's it. Because here's the mistake people make. They think confidence comes first. It doesn't. You build confidence by proving to yourself that you're capable of taking care of yourself. And when you feel comfortable in your own skin, you stop walking into conversations thinking, is she going to like me? Instead, you're thinking, let's see if we actually get along. Because if you're constantly worried about whether you're good enough, you'll spend the entire interaction trying to impress her instead of actually getting to know her. That's a completely different mindset. And remember this, because it's going to come up again. You aren't trying to become someone you're not. You're just trying to become a better version of yourself. You don't need game, you need a solid foundation. Step 2. Stop trying to quote-unquote get girls and learn to talk to people. Here's where most people with no game get stuck. They barely talk to anyone they're not already friends with. Then suddenly they see someone they like and expect themselves to become the most charismatic person alive. Obviously, that's not going to happen. You don't build social confidence by thinking about talking, you build it by talking. And if you never practice, nothing changes. You'll keep seeing someone you like, thinking about talking to her, and walking away without ever knowing what could have happened. Start having more conversations in your everyday life. Talk to people in class, your teammates, ask someone about something happening around you. The goal isn't to flirt with every girl you see, the goal is to make talking to people normal. Because once conversations stop feeling like some massive event, talking to someone you like becomes way easier. And this is where you can completely change your results without having any game whatsoever. Learn to listen, actually pay attention to what someone says, ask follow-up questions. If she mentions that she plays a sport, don't immediately change the subject, ask her about it. If she just watched a movie, ask what she thought of it. You're not performing, you're having a conversation, and that's the secret nobody tells you. Good conversation isn't about having the perfect thing to say. You don't need game, you need practice. Step 3. Figure out if she actually wants to talk to you. Now we get to something really important. You need to know the difference between someone being friendly and someone actually being interested. Because if you mistake basic friendliness for attraction, you're going to create an entire relationship in your head that doesn't exist. And you could waste weeks obsessing over someone who is simply being friendly. Someone smiling at you doesn't automatically mean they like you. Someone replying to a message doesn't automatically mean they're interested. Instead, look at the bigger picture. Does she seem happy to talk to you? Does she keep conversations going? Does she make an effort to spend time around you? The key is mutual interest, and if you don't see it, that's okay. You don't need to force anything. This is another reason you don't need game. Game is often represented as some ability to manipulate a situation so someone likes you. You don't need that. You need to find people who actually enjoy talking to you. Step 4. Show interest without trying too hard. Now let's say you've been talking, the conversations are good, you both seem comfortable. This is where you actually need to show some interest. And this is where people with no game usually make one of two mistakes. They either do absolutely nothing or they go completely overboard. They start using pickup lines, they send 15 messages in a row, they compliment everything about her, they suddenly act like she's the most amazing person they've ever met. Don't do that, because the harder you try to force attraction, the more awkward the whole thing becomes, and you could push away the exact person you were hoping to impress. You don't need a perfect line, you just need to make your interest a little clearer. Give a genuine compliment, make a light joke, and most importantly, don't pretend to be someone you're not. Because imagine you somehow manage to impress someone by acting completely different from who you actually are. Eventually, you're going to have to be yourself anyway, so why not start there? You don't need game, you need to be comfortable enough to let someone see how you actually are. Step 5. Actually ask her out. Here's where everything changes. Because you can talk to someone for months, you can joke around, text every day, but if you never actually ask to spend time together, you're not going anywhere. You could spend months texting, joking around, and wondering if she likes you, only to realize you never actually gave yourself a chance. And at some point, you have to make a move. And it doesn't need to be dramatic. You can simply say, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? That's it. No 5-minute speech, no rehearsed confession. Just ask. And if she says yes, awesome. Now you have an opportunity to actually get to know each other. If she says no, you're not back at square one, you're actually ahead, because now you know. And that brings us to the final step, step 6. Stop letting rejection control you. This might be the biggest thing separating people who eventually get into relationships from people who stay stuck. It's not having insane game, it's their ability to handle rejection. Because if you're terrified of hearing no, you'll never give yourself enough chances to hear yes. And that's the trap. You can spend years waiting until you're confident enough, experienced enough, or good enough to finally start. And meanwhile, nothing changes. Rejection doesn't mean you're unattractive. It doesn't mean you're boring. It just means that person wasn't interested. That's it. Think about it. You aren't attracted to every person you meet either. You don't reject them because they're worthless. You just don't feel the connection. The same thing happens in reverse. And once you understand that, rejection becomes way less scary. That one change completely removes the pressure. So do you actually need game? The answer is no. You need to take care of yourself. You need to become comfortable talking to people. You need to recognize mutual interests. You need to show interest without pretending to be someone else. You need to actually ask someone to spend time with you. And you need to stop letting rejection decide your future. That's it. There is no secret sentence that makes someone fall for you. There is no cheat code, and there definitely isn't some magical amount of game you need before you're allowed to date. Because if you spend all your time searching for the perfect technique instead of actually talking to people, you'll still be in the same place months from now. The guy who thinks he has no game but actually takes care of himself, talks to people, and isn't terrified of rejection is already ahead of the guy who spends years watching dating advice but never actually does anything. So if you've been sitting around thinking, I'll start dating when I'm more confident, stop waiting, because the biggest risk isn't hearing no, it's never asking at all. Confidence comes after you start. And remember, you don't need game, you need to take the first step. And if you actually apply everything in this video instead of just watching it and moving on to the next one, you might finally stop wondering and actually find out what could have happened.